Hi YouTube. How are you guys? Um, I saw someone from my old channel came by, Brandy Weston. Thank you very much for coming back to my channel. It's good to see you. Um, yeah, it's crazy. Back when I had that channel, so to people who don't know, I believed in aliens and stuff like that at the time, and I still believe in other planets and people on other planets and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily believe in like evil aliens. I mean, well, there's evil people on other planets too, probably, but I don't necessarily believe in like really scary, gross-looking aliens and stuff like that anymore. I was diagnosed schizo. I don't know, either schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder. I don't know which one. My therapist has one thing. My sheet that I got regarding disabilities has another thing. So I don't know which one is the official one. But you know, I'm not nearly as much of a conspiracy theorist anymore. I had a conspiracy theory channel and stuff like that, and I just have less paranoia. But I still have plenty of paranoia, and I'm not sure if conspiracy theories are real or not. But I don't know. Anyways, but it's still cool, nonetheless. And I feel like my new channel is healthier and more mainstream than my old channel was. Though because it's less niche, it is maybe a bit harder to get views because I would put tons of tags in there, and like I don't know, it's just like it seemed easier to get views back then because I was talking about like dramatic things, and I don't know, maybe I had some interesting stuff to say about conspiracy theories and things like that, but the reason that I deleted my channel was because I became so paranoid. I thought that I was going to be hurt, so I got rid of my channel, and then 2 days later they took me over to the mental hospital. The cops came to my house and dragged me away against my will, and I was screaming, man. I was screaming. I was like, I do not consent. I do not consent. I was like, do you guys believe in karma? It was so bad. Actually, I didn't say that to the cops. I said that to the social workers or whatever, people who came before the cops and told me the cops were going to come into the room. So it was so bad. I was like, do you believe in karma? Like, I think we'd get back karma if we didn't help you out right now. I was like, no. It was bad. I thought really bad things were going to happen to me. I thought that I had been caught basically, and like I was in really big trouble. But anyways, I want to talk about a meditation technique that you can do. The most effective meditation, in my opinion, is focus training. And I talked about it in my previous video, so I won't talk about it unless it comes up, but I won't talk about it too much again. But the most effective meditation is focus training. So I'm not advocating for this next technique as a replacement for focus training. I don't even recommend that you do this next technique. I recommend that you do focus training. If you can't handle focus training, and yeah, if you can't handle focus training, or if you can't do it all day long because you can't multitask and do focus training at the same time, then I would cultivate a sense of focus, I would probably cultivate a sense of focus. Like, you know how you can be present to the moment? Well, just focus on your external surroundings, like just sustain your focus, like be focused at all times, and then you can multitask while doing that. That's what I recommend. That or being in the body, but I think sustaining focus is probably more effective. Whatever you enjoy more is going to be the most effective for you, probably. Anyways, or whatever is most painful. Though I wouldn't recommend you I don't recommend that you push yourself through too much pain. So I'm going to talk about a new meditation technique. And the reason that I'm doing this, why would I tell you about a technique if I don't recommend that you do this technique over other techniques? Is so that you understand how it works, so that you understand kind of the generalities of how the human mind works, how meditation works, and so that you understand how it affects your other techniques that you do. So, and so that you can understand how growth and development work, and because it's cool and fun to learn about. So this technique I call conscious thinking. It's another one that I kind of came up with, but it's kind of been around for a long time at the same time. So the way that I came up with this technique, I was walking in the Skyway, which is like, it's like if you go downtown in a big city, they're gonna have indoor streets. It's like an indoor street that you walk through. So that's the Skyway, and it's like a couple levels up, and you can like look down and see this. Then you see the busy streets below and stuff like that. And at the time, I thought the energy was contagious, or I thought the bad moods were contagious. And so I was walking there to face the negative moods. I was really mentally ill, and I was walking there to face the negative mood of the people around me. I thought that it was like something that was difficult for me to handle. And when I was walking there, I felt very stifled, and I thought that was because I was around a bunch of like white collar or like banking industry like jobs, and like people were very stifled and like had a very like left brain computer jobs. So I thought that I was very stifled, and one thought kept occurring to me: I'm sorry. And I thought that the thoughts were contagious too, and I thought that that thought was from other people. So I thought that they felt that, and so I was experiencing them. So, and now you may actually feel, it's called being an empath, you may actually feel other people's energy. That might actually be a thing. I still do. You might feel their negative energy. A lot of people claim to experience that. Now, I don't know if that's psychosomatic, which a lot of people have psychosomatic sensations. I know that I've had psychosomatic sensations in my life. I've proven that to myself, basically, unless there's some crazy other explanation. But I used to have like wrist pain, couldn't use the computer and stuff like that. It was in my head. So now this new thing, is it in my head or is it real? I mean, I've gotten over a lot of the psychosomatic issues, but this one still remains. So maybe you can feel other people's negative energy to some extent, or like a latent energy or something like that, or who knows what it is exactly, but you can feel a certain negativity from certain people. Bad vibes. I mean, just t-shirts that say only good vibes and stuff like that. So bad vibes is commonly thought of thing. So the thought, I'm sorry. And so I went home and I was like, man, I wish I could keep facing that negative energy and those negative thoughts from the other people. And I was like, wait, the thought I'm sorry kept occurring to me because there was a lot of like underlings, and they had like the boss and stuff like that. That's why I thought that I was thinking I'm sorry, and why I felt like I was stifled. The pickup artists talk a lot about being unstifled, and how being stifled is very unattractive to women. If like a guy is stifled, I think it's overstated by them. Like you can have other qualities that make up for it, but being stifled is supposedly synonymous with status and stuff like that. Anyways, I'm not as big into thinking about status and stuff like that as I used to be, because I don't want to analyze people and put them into categories and be negative like that. Though there could be some cool stuff like to increasing your status and stuff like that, but I look at things more spiritually now and less evolutionarily now. So I might start going back to, if positive emotions are a good thing and I start experiencing positive emotions, I might start thinking about status again. But in the meantime, I don't even want to, because I can't really, I'm just... It separates you from other people, and I'm not where I would like to be. It's another big one, so it's discouraging. But anyway, though, I don't know. In some ways, I've improved a lot with it, but in terms of how I seem to get along with my family and stuff like that, and the response that I get from other people and stuff like that. But with COVID, I don't know. My mental illness just messed me up, man. It messed me up so hard. So it's just very discouraging because I'm not able to like go out and talk to girls and stuff like that. So it's hard for me to like up my status. But oh well. Okay. So I got home from walking in the Skyway. This is like 3 or 4 years ago. Probably 4 years ago now. And I was like, wait, what if I just thought I'm sorry? Wouldn't that be the same as walking in the Skyway and facing other people's negative thinking? So if I was walking on the Skyway compulsively thinking I'm sorry over and over again, and I would never just randomly think that thought other than that, and I get home, and so I'm like, okay, I'm going to try just thinking I'm sorry over and over to myself, and I did, and it had the same emotional effect on me as being around the people with the negative energy. Which, if someone has negative vibes, do you want to expose yourself to that and grow and get used to it, or do you want to run away from it for your entire life? You know what I mean? Like, people run away from that kind of stuff, and they run away from bad moods. And yeah, you can do that some if it's really going to negatively affect your life, but you shouldn't always just run away from everything that negative, because you grow from it. So it's an opportunity as well. I used to meditate in the downtown public library next to all the homeless guys, because I felt like the energy there was and next to all the computers, because I felt like the energy there was the worst. I would go to where the energy was really bad, and I would meditate, and I don't know if I'll do that again someday. It's actually very dangerous, because where the energy is bad, the people are more likely to be violent. I've seen some really bad stuff in my day. But anyways, actually, the police started talking to me when I was meditating next to the homeless people, and I got uncomfortable and I left, because they were I don't know, maybe they're trying to be friendly, but they're talking to me a lot, and they were telling me to keep my eyes open and stuff like that, because I was in the library, and I got uncomfortable. I was like, why are they talking to me so much? I felt like, I don't know, it might have been my mental illness. I felt like they're harassing me, give me crap, because I'm sitting there meditating. I'm not listening to music, I'm not reading a book and stuff like that, everybody else is distracting themselves. I'm meditating. I'm the weirdo just sitting there doing nothing. And yeah, and the guy was like, "That's a pretty good meditation you got going on there." And he was probably saying it to be friendly to me, but I got really uncomfortable, so I left. But it could also have been the vibes, but it's probably my mental illness as well. So anyways, so conscious thinking. Okay, so I went home and I tried thinking I'm sorry, and then anyways, so I tried to think. I was like, well, maybe if I think other thoughts, it'll work. So you can conscious thinking. It can be positive or negative thoughts, and it's thinking thoughts consciously. And in this case, it's repeating the same thought again and again and again and again. You can speak it as well. And while I call this conscious thinking, this technique has been around for thousands of years, and it's called a mantra. So, I'm not the originator of this technique, but I do have a unique way of coming up with the thought that I would maybe do negative conscious thinking. But mantras have been used for a very long time. Now, you could think focus, 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 and I guarantee you that will leave. Just thinking that repeatedly for a certain amount of time will make you, throughout that time, more focused than you otherwise would have been. It's not as good, I don't think anyways, it might be, but I don't think it's as good as actually focusing, but it is an interesting technique. And I have even taken this so far as to think that you could think the word throw, 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 and it would help you in some ways get better at throwing a baseball. Now, I don't believe that it's actually going to make you better. It's not going to make you actually better physically throwing the ball, but what it's going to do is it's going to, some of that emotionality that would have been triggered by throwing a baseball repeatedly, that if you did for a long period of time, would maybe make it so that it would get harder and harder to do. I'm so tired of this baseball. I don't want to do this anymore. I've been doing this every day for years. I'm just getting sick of this. It would get that out of your system, and that way it would make you better at throwing a baseball, right? So I'm an artist, so I could think draw, 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 And it was not going to make me actually better at drawing in the sense that it's going to make me like better able to put what I want on a piece of paper. But what it's going to do is it's going to help me with the emotional aspect of drawing. But I'm not recommending you do that either, but I'm just saying that these are some of the ways in which it might actually work. And growth and thinking, there is a relationship between thinking and growth. And now these are deliberate thoughts, not compulsive thoughts. Let me check the time. Alright, so that's conscious thinking. You could think positive thoughts or negative thoughts. Now this is also abundance and manifestation. So mantras, like people would be like, I am hoping for a blessed outcome or something like that. Like they sit and they say that, right? Again, it's still thinking. My take on mantras and conscious thinking is that it's a technique for people who aren't ready yet to do the hard work of presence or focus or whatever, because they're still in mind. They want to use their mind. They still want to think. They're addicted to thinking. So if that's you, if you're comfortable with this technique because you're addicted to thinking, then by all means use it. It's a good technique. It's just not as good in my opinion. I could be wrong though. So this ties into abundance and manifestation, where people journal or write down repeated words of something that they want to obtain or something that they want to have as an emotional state or whatever, or they'll write bliss, 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 gratitude, 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 gratitude. I'm so grateful for this gratitude journaling and stuff like that. All the journaling that you could ever think of doing, you can do right here in your frickin' head. You don't need to write it down on a sheet of paper, and you can repeat the words. You can do all that stuff. Thinking is very powerful. Positive thinking is very powerful. Deliberate thinking is very powerful. Again, I don't think that this is effective as other techniques. Focus training is probably more effective. But it's good to know how this stuff works, so that you understand how the human mind works, and so that you understand how growth and development works. And if you want to try this stuff out, it wouldn't hurt to try for 5 minutes or whatever. This is also how I discovered, and this might be the topic of my next video, but this is also how I discovered what I call nodes. Because when I would do awareness, 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 I noticed I felt it in a specific location. Presence, 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 I'd feel in a specific location. Actually, I noticed that when I would try to be present in the moment, I noticed that I felt it in here, like very early on when I started practicing presence. I noticed that very early on, that presence came from a specific location. Awareness comes from here, like in the brain. Presence comes from here. Focus comes from a sexual area, I won't say where. Attention comes from behind, like there's an area behind the nose, like attention. Surrender, I think, comes from in the cheeks too, like underneath presence and behind it a little bit. I could be wrong about that. I haven't thought too much. Allowing is the heart. Having heart is the heart. As in like having heart, like kind of like determination, courage. It's having heart. It's like can-do attitude. Having heart. It's its own thing. There's not really a synonym that would be close enough to be the exact same thing. So that's how I discovered nodes, because I would say, I think it started with knowledge, and I'd feel my tailbone, and I believe the knowledge came from the tailbone. I don't necessarily believe that that's true. I don't know what the tailbone is for spiritually. Patience is in a sexual area, so I won't say where it comes from. Feel is in a sexual area. The best ones are in the sexual areas because that's the best feeling part of your body. So those nodes are going to be the best feeling nodes. and so they're going to. The focus is the best area in the body. That's one of the ways that, and my energy is focus, and it's lather. And Brandy Weston said that my energy was a lather energy, so there's corroboration because I feel it as that. I can tell I feel it like that, and and if positive emotions are a good thing, there's a certain type of love that feels like my energy too. There's different types of love. There's like queasy love. There's romantic love. There's general love. There's probably many different types of love, but I'm not sure about that. If positive emotions are a good thing, I don't even know. I oscillate back and forth between wanting them to be a good thing and not, and it could be my mental illness, or it could be that I had just the focus training. Makes you less future chasing and have less of the positive emotions. I don't know. But I mean, my mental illness is to blame for a lot of it, for sure. But anyways, I laid out conscious thinking. I covered nodes, actually. Pretty much a lot of what I want to say. I don't know if I would have any more to say about that. Nodes are similar to chakras. Like, they have the chakra system. So the heart chakra would be allowing and having heart. So when I say the heart, the node is allowing, I don't mean the actual physical location of the heart, which is like a little bit to the right or left. I think it's a bit to the left, actually, because they say that right-handed people are more common than left-handed people because people would hold shields with their left hand. So it was harder to stab at the heart if somebody was right-handed, because they would hold the shield with their left and it would protect the heart better, or something like that. I think that's one of the theories, or one of the possible reasons, not necessarily the only reason. It's really morbid. I wish I hadn't mentioned it, but it is what it is. So I think that covers everything I want to talk about with conscious thinking and nodes. Maybe I won't make a video about nodes because I may have covered it enough here. Alright, well, I don't want to spend too much time thinking about what I'm saying, because that would be a little bit boring for you, less entertaining and stuff like that. Anyways, thanks for watching, and have a good day.